We're going to face many difficult storms in the coming months. Let me begin with a rather sobering reality. COVID-19 is a global pandemic, not a local or regional epidemic like Ebola. This means that in our interconnected world, even if some parts of the world were able to stamp out the virus, the risk of it resurfacing would still remain. As you may know, scientists from major global institutions and companies are racing against time to develop a vaccine that is supposed to inoculate everyone in the world against this virus. I don't want to wade into the controversy surrounding this vaccine agenda, but even if this were the solution, it is estimated that it could take 18 months to 2 years before it will be ready for global distribution. That is a long time. The point I'm making here is that we're not talking about a quick return to normal. Unfortunately, during this period, we're likely to see many more businesses and entire industry literally collapsing. It is actually frightening to even contemplate the implications. Many countries are likely to go broke. Governments will struggle to pay their workers' salaries and also to provide the basic services that we have come to expect and to demand from our governments. Because of reduced tax collections, they're likely to default on their sovereign debts. Unemployment is going to skyrocket. Idleness. All this is going to lead to chronic hunger, starvation, and ultimately to social disorder. In the meantime, China and maybe other global powers are likely to take a very aggressive stance against countries that have been borrowing from them. These are the grim economic realities of the tunnel that is ahead of us. The economic storm that is brewing is like a hurricane that could literally wipe us out. While we quietly celebrate and thank God that the virus has not ravaged Africa as it has some other parts of the world, the truth is that in regard to our capacities, we are squatting like chickens waiting to be slaughtered. Our weak institutions, our crowded slums, our lack of hygiene, yes, if it's about our preparedness, then we're doomed. So what am I saying? The idea of African nations adopting a lockdown as the solution to the virus, because Western nations have chosen that as their solution, is preposterous. President Magufuli of Tanzania has seen the light. In the face of heavy criticism, the president has rejected the lockdown narrative. His rallying call to the people of Tanzania is that if we must die, let us not die sitting in our houses with our eyes closed and our arms folded. He has implored the people of Tanzania to go on with their farming, to crank up their businesses. Let us not cower to the threat of this virus, he says. That is the bold choice that he has made. In sharp contrast, the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo declared a state of emergency because 4 people died, reportedly from the coronavirus. Gripped with the fear and panic that has swept the world, he has closed the country's borders and placed travel restrictions in and out of the capital city, Kinshasa. Imagine that. A state of emergency because of 4 deaths in a country where over 6 million people, let me repeat that, 6 million people died in the past 2 decades from externally instigated conflicts. How many people in DRC have died from Ebola? And just last year, the World Health Organization reported that over 5,000 Congolese had died from measles outbreak. And now, the poor country is sitting in lockdown position because of the threat of the coronavirus. And I say, really? And consider this. In South Africa, the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, just last week deployed his military in great numbers to enforce his government's lockdown orders. This was in response to some riots and looting that have already begun to break out. The millions of poor South Africans locked in their slums and townships are hungry. They're unable to work. They're beginning to get angry. Tension is building up. And the prospects of destructive chaos erupting in South Africa is very high. Mr. President, The job of the military under your command is to defend the people of your country, not to fight them. Your duty as a leader is to lead the people, not fight the people. I fear for South Africa that more people could die from bullets from their army and from the police than those who will die from the coronavirus. My humble plea to the leaders of Africa, leaders who are holding their people hostage, is let your people go.